Hello, sim racers. Welcome to another live and 10,000 subscribers. Thank you so much, guys. This is incredible. I've never thought that we would, arrive at the 10,000 subscribers so fast in such a short period of time. I mean, it's mind blowing. I mean, 10,000. This is pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. So, hello everybody in the chat, looking to the people already there. And what can I say? I mean, I have no words really. I see people saying all the most incredible things. So, all right. So, welcome, and today we are going to do something strange, curious, and first time I'm going to try this into a single night. So let's see if we're gonna have any success, if the format is something that you guys like, and yeah, and I don't know if that is a kind of celebration. Probably we should do something bigger, but I don't know. We should think about that. If you have any special ideas about what we should do for the magic 10,000 number, let me know. And at the same time, as Dejan Jakovic says, which is the subreddit moderator and administrator, the ACC subreddit also today, at the same time, hit 10,000 subscribers too, the subreddits. So yeah, we celebrate together the magic 10,000 number. So congrats for that, Dejan. You really deserve it. You're doing an amazing job on that subreddit, and the community there on Reddit is really nice. I really appreciate everything, and it's very cool. All right, so what are we going to do tonight? Tonight we are going to do a couple of laps with the Aston Martin that we used on the Kyalami race last Friday with Davide. Thank you so much, Marzak. Thank you so much, mate. Thank you for the support. And we are going to do a couple of laps with this car so that I can remind you and show you the kind of performance that we can achieve with this car in full race setup as usual. If I remember, I was lapping at around 1 minute and 42, one flat, 1 minute 41 high, something like that. So tonight we'll try 5 or 10 laps and see if I can shoot 1 minute and 42 low right away. And then we won't waste much time. I will just want to tell you some of the characteristics of the car. And then we're going to switch to one car after another. For tonight, I would like to try the Audi GT3 Evo. I would like to try the Bentley. Look at that beauty. And I would like also to try the McLaren. Look at this. Okay. So I would like to try all those cars and explain one car after another, the differences between the cars and how they feel, and see if in half an hour or 45 minutes, whatever, I can bring the car close to the performance that I already have with the Aston, that I'm already trained and practiced over the Aston. All right, so everybody's happy on the chat. I love to see you guys on the chat being so happy. So what are we going to do? Let's see. All right, so let's go in. I put the more or less the weather of the server, which was very early in the morning with very low temperatures. So all right, let's go in and have a couple of laps. Well, the 720, we'll see. I mean, it's a very nice car, extremely fast, extremely, you need to be very precise. We'll see in a couple of hours how the car reacts. All right, so we set up I have my setup from the race. So this is it here. The setup. So okay, let's start with the first thing for tonight. So the setup. I have created this very nice Google Drive where I'm going to put all the setups, eventually replace and stuff like that. So let me show you the link right now, and then you will find the link always in the description of my videos. So the Aris.Drives G Drive shared folder for setups and stuff. Here it is. Here it is, guys. Have fun. You can find both the setups for the qualifying that we used and for the race in there. Maybe I should, start renaming the setups a little bit better about that so that you guys understand what you're going to do. So, all right, let's go. Let's go in. Drive.
Green light. Give it all you can.
By the way, some people complained, rightfully so, that the sound was a little bit too low. So let me raise that. Let me know, guys, if you like it at 40%. Yeah, and let's try this. Because I mean, if we don't let the sounds of Assetto Corsa Competizione, rumble, then what are we doing here? All right. So, full fuel for the race. And let's see if I can, do again a couple of similar lap times that we were doing at the race. So the main characteristic of the Aston, as you know, yes, Tiago. In fact, at Kyalami, the engines are much weaker because Tiago asked if the game simulates the air density of the very high altitude. So let's do this. Another. Did you know? So did you know that at Kyalami circuit is at 1,500 meters altitude? It's really high, really high. And of course, at such a high altitude, the air density is much lower. And that means that the engines get less oxygen, less air, and so they have, less power. And this is simulated. But it's not only that. It's not only the engine, but also the air, of course, obviously changes the aerodynamics. So you get a little bit less air resistance, aerodynamic resistance, less aerodynamic drag, because obviously the air is less dense. But because the air is less dense, you also get a little bit less downforce. So yeah, all that stuff is important, and it is correctly simulated in Assetto Corsa Competizione. Now, we were talking about the Aston. The Aston is such a beautiful car. It's so well balanced. It has very well-behaved aerodynamics, not so pitch sensitive. It is, of course, it is pitch sensitive. You can see here that it is very fast turn. As all GT3 cars, it is quite pitch sensitive, but it's not so bad, the situation. And as such, you can, make less of a compromise with the front end rigidity. And it also is very neutral, very nice mechanical grip. It has a lot of grip from the tires and everything. So it's a very nice car to drive, but it is very tricky to make lap times with it. Why? Because the BOP actually made, of course, uh, didn't let the Aston very powerful engine. So the engine lacks the power that you have in other cars, and you have to make most of the lap time by braking as late as possible and by putting, taking into the turn as much speed as possible. And probably you saw in the race, this is what we were doing during the whole race.
Well done, mate. Personal fastest lap.
So this is what we're going to do now. We're going to brake as late as possible, even with the car, fully loaded. Let the car coast a little bit inside the turn, bring as much speed inside as possible. Good tray braking technique is needed for this car because it permits you to do so. It's very smooth going into the turns. A little bit of pitch sensitivity into this very fast turn in. Again, lots of speed inside. Then you see, you have to make the turn around. Very smooth braking here. You don't have to brake a lot, but you have to keep it going. Didn't make so good the exit. Not good here. It has a very advanced traction control that helps you, put your foot down and maybe rotate the car a bit at the exit, which we'll try again on the next lap. Again, late braking. And bring the speed inside the turn. Yeah, that's it. And again, strong the accelerator, traction control take care of everything, almost. And we're already at 142 flat. So not a very bad lap. Let's go and see if we can do a better one. A bit better exit here. Trying to bring as much speed inside the turn as possible. In fact, I'm gaining again. Keep on my feet on the accelerator. Brake deep again. Rotate the car a little bit on the brakes. That wasn't so good. Tiny bit of braking and on the accelerator again. And out. Rotate the car with the accelerator a little bit and exit. The sun is coming up. Bring the speed inside the turn and soon on the accelerator as soon as possible. Oof, oof, oof. Such a tricky turn here. Accelerator again. You see how fast I'm going on the accelerator, and that's a pretty nice lap. 41.4 for 94 liters of fuel. That's a very nice lap to do. So let's have a look at the replay, possibly save the replay. So let's save this replay and then we can post that replay again on the G drive. So all right, that was the last lap here. Okay, so let's have a look from the inside. Very late braking, as we said. Bring the car here on the apex and accelerate as soon as possible. Okay. Now, again, you can see here. Let's analyze this a little bit. Let's take it from the start and go a little bit on slow motion, super slow motion. All right, so okay, a little bit of silence. Now, here again, as close as 100 meters as possible, full braking, you can see here. And then I'm going towards the turn a little bit, releasing the brakes. Right now, you see, just a tiny bit of braking to make the car rotate, and then as soon as possible on the accelerator. Okay, the very, very good traction control of the Aston Martin can really help you here. So full accelerator here. I'm doing a little bit too much meters. Maybe I could, make a much straighter exit. Now here I'm trying to get as much space as possible because I want as much speed as possible for this next turn. So you see I'm going wide here, braking, keeping just a tiny bit of brake to rotate the car. Now that the car is rotated, I'm already on the accelerator and just touching. Don't touch too much the inner curve because it makes the traction control engage way too much. And off we go on the next braking zone. Now here it is tricky. You have to make a very fast, at least I'm doing like that. I'm doing a fast braking. With some cars, you have to brake somewhere around here. With the Aston, I can brake a little bit later and rotate the car towards the inner and then go slightly on the accelerator. You see here, just a hint of accelerator to keep my speed normal. And then hard on the accelerator, you have to have a car that rotates a little bit to go on the accelerator so soon. And here we go outside. Now again, late braking. There is a mark somewhere here, you see. After this mark of the 50s, you start braking. Again, you need to rotate. I didn't manage to rotate the car very well this time. And you can see here that I rotated the car, but I ended up way too far away from the apex. This has cost me lots of tenths, 2 or 3 tenths of a second. So not a good turn here, which means I could have done a much better lap time. All right, so now this is one turn that I was mistaking. In this turn, I was, arriving at the curb here, and I was braking hard and then inserting the car. And I found out that that wasn't the way. I was losing time because of this. So what I did here is look at that, braking, and then just keeping a tiny bit the brakes, and then it's already correct. So I can keep on, accelerating, releasing one up, changing direction, and then back into the accelerator, full acceleration. You need again a car that turns a little bit, rotates a little bit with the accelerator so that you don't end up very wide. You can do it easily with this setup when the car has still fresh tires. You have to be a little bit more careful when the car starts to have, worn out tires. All right, so uphill, braking again somewhere around here. I was way too. This was a risk. I didn't have to risk so much. It pays to go a little bit towards the turn here, rotate it a little bit, try to get the apex again. Another mistake here. But if you cannot do it, you go on the accelerator, you rotate the car with the accelerator. If the car has a good traction control, you will still make meters. So again, another error here, which means I could go into something like 41 lows. Very, very nice car. Okay, down the hill. Now, there are different ways to make this turn. For sure, whatever you do, try to not exaggerate with the steering wheel, because the more you steer, the more grip you ask for your tires. You're gonna, create tearing at the front tires, and most importantly, you're gonna lose speed, because if you steer too much, the speed goes down instead of, raising. So find the correct line and just use as low steering input as possible. You see that it is possible to make the turn without big problems. Oops, wrong here. Okay. All right. And braking. Braking again very, very late. I will rotate the car in first gear, so I'm gonna just touch the inner curb. Again, don't go inside too much because those curbs they seem smooth, but they are high, so they're going to, unbalance your car and the traction control will against it. You don't want that. Again, as fast acceleration as possible. All right. And another late braking here, you have to be extremely precise here, and I wasn't. You see, I was almost getting the curb here. Really, really difficult stuff. I went a little bit outside. This is all losing time. So pretty good lap, even with all those mistakes. Last braking zone around here. Again, you will see I'm keeping a tiny bit of braking as I'm rotating the car, tiny bit of braking, and then releasing. And as soon as I understand that the car has rotated, instantly on the accelerator and trying to go back again and have a good exit. So that was the lap. So that was a very nice 141.4, I think, lap. So pretty cool stuff. You can see it also from the outside. And that was it. I hope you liked it. So I'm gonna put again the replay on the G drive. And all right, so let's go and try the Audi now. Okay, what do you guys think on the chat? How is it going on the chat? Am I talking alone or are you guys doing something else? All right. Nice. Yeah, the sources of death is really, really. You have, especially if you're doing, lap after lap for the race, you really have to get back, concentrate as much as possible, and be as precise as possible during the race, because it takes just one error, and your race can be over. It's really, really difficult. All right. So some of the characteristics of the Aston. Well, first of all, the car is fraud mid-engine. So let's go out and explain a little bit the car and why it is so, let's say, easy to handle. So this is the car. All right. Let me show you a little bit. Pom, 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 pom. That's it. Okay. So the engine is somewhere around here. Okay. Okay. So here is the engine. And the gearbox is behind. Okay, so the gearbox and the differential is around here, which means that you get the weight of the car to be very evenly balanced. It's practically like a mid-engine car, with the difference that it is at the mid, but the engine is at front. So you get some of the characteristics of a little bit more inertia. Okay, so the car is a little bit more easier to work with, but still very agile. It is also a quite short car, so it remains very agile, and that's a very, very good thing to have. The other important thing is that um, the fuel load, the fuel tank is somewhere around here. So you get the let's say the center of gravity of the car that is almost in the middle, but you have the fuel tank here, which means that when the car is heavy, you're gonna have very good traction because you have more weight at the rear because of the fuel load. When you have full fuel load, you have a heavier rear end, even if it's front engine. While the fuel goes down and the car gets lighter and lighter, and you also have the tires that are more worn out during the race, then the weight moves a little bit forward. Okay, so the weight moves forward like this, and that means that you get less traction, from the rear tires. So what you probably need is, the good thing is that the unbalance is not too much, so you're not going to feel big unbalances from the car. You're not going to feel the car that instantly loses a lot of traction. It's still a very benevolent car, but you might need, depending on your setup, to raise your traction control by one level, say, when the you are towards the end of your stint, so that the car is much lighter, or you need to be careful, with your acceleration pedal, while you're going out of slow turns. You have to also be aware that you might get some extra front end understeer in long turns, because you're going to have more weight at the front, so the turning will be good. It will rotate, but once the rear gets some traction in higher speed turns, you're going to get some understeer. So watch out for those stuff. But again, uh, there is not much happening into this car. It's really a very benevolent car. If you want to have a good race with a car that you can trust, this is one of the best cars to use. Just be aware that to make proper lap times, you really have to be very precise and bring as much um, as much speed inside the turn as possible. That's what you have to do with the Aston, and take care as much as possible the exit of the turns. All right, so next car. We're going to get the Audi. Let's see if we can have a nice, I don't know. Yeah, that's nice. I like this. Pretty cool stuff. Other stuff. Oh, that's also very nice. That's also cool. Yeah, that's really cool. So the Audi is obviously one of the most successful cars of the GT3. We all know about it. This is the Evo version, the Evo, whatever you want to call it. And what to tell about the Audi? Well, first of all, it has one of the most efficient and well-designed rear spoilers. I remember the first one actually used the rear wing of the LMP1 car. This new version uses a slightly modified version, but obviously all the experience that they had from the LMP1 Le Mans car, they bring it here. Obviously, the engine is in the middle, so it's pretty much here. It is a big V10 engine, lots of weight, in the middle. So it's hammer time. Do you remember the hammer, guys? This is the hammer. So if some people have seen one of my first videos on how to understand your car, you might remember the hammer, but it is, I think, one of the best examples to understand what's going on with your cars. So the Aston Martin that we saw before has the weight at the front, let's say. Well, it's more in the middle, but still more weight, front weight bias a little bit. And that means that it's the car, whatever you do, the car wants to, straighten up. Okay. It likes to straighten up like this. Okay, so you see that you rotate the car, and the car wants, if you go this way, this is the way of moving forward, let's say. So whatever you do, the car wants to straighten up. This is what front end in cars generally with more front weight do. Obviously, it's not like that. It's not all at the front. Okay. It's more like mid-engine front. So let's say that you rotate the car from here, so it's much more agile, because as you can see, if it was so much front weight, it means that yes, it wants to go front, but it takes quite a bit of force, because all the weight is here, to rotate the car. You need some force to rotate the car. But because the engine is closer to the rear tires, let's say that my hand here is the rear tires, it's a bit easier to rotate. Okay, so it needs less force. Now, obviously, you don't have lots of weight at the back, so the traction is not so good, which means that, for whatever reason, if you go very hard on the accelerator with the Aston, you're going to lose some of the traction. Now the Audi is like this. Now again we're going downwards. All right, so again we're going downwards. Let me put the camera like that so that you can see a little bit better, I hope. So you have the weight at the rear. The engine is very big, it's lots of weight. The transmission is again at the rear, so everything is at the rear. What that means? It means that the front is very easy to change direction. You can see here it takes just a tiny bit of force, and the front is very easy to change direction. But the problem is that once the rear tires lose some grip, then the whole car wants to rotate. So you are like that, you are braking, with the front wheels, and the rear starts to move around. And as it moves around, if you do not take, proper, if you do not put the correct inputs, driving inputs, then the whole thing wants to rotate and spin. So that's why the mid-engine cars are much more agile. You see, again, it's much more easy to change the front wheels because it's so light. But then you have the inertia of the rear part, and it just wants to, turn around. So this is mainly the Audi. Let's see if all that we just described is also happening, in while we drive. So let me go just 1 hour ahead because it's too dark. Okay. So let's go in again. Now, obviously, we don't have a replay. We don't have a setup for this car. So we're gonna get the aggressive setup for now. Do some laps. Try, to get up with some rhythm, and see what we can do. Right? All good, guys, in the chat? All right. Okay, cool stuff. Nice. Okay, so let's go for a lap, and let's see if whatever we described until now is actually, like this while driving the car. Well, first of all, natural aspirated engine, V12, lots and lots of revs. Listen to that thing scream. That's so nice, amazing. But that also means that, you have an engine that it's instant on its reactions. So you go on the accelerator, and the engine instantly pushes you with all the torque and power that it has. It's practically, it's connected to your brain. Obviously, with a supercharged or turbo engine cars, you have that kind of turbo lag, and we had that in the Aston. So you have to go to the accelerator a little bit sooner, waiting for the turbos to spill up and give all the pressure and generate power. On an instant V12 natural aspirated engine like this, obviously you need, extra power. Well, let me first go back and put the full fuel as we had with the Aston, and let me also change in full screen like this so that you can see better. All right, so full fuel 105 like we had at the Aston, more or less. Okay, so that's it. Okay, let's go. Out again. Yeah, full screen, yeah, sure. So, as we said, V10 engine, big engine at the right behind us. We can see already the front end wants to change direction very, very fast. Ooh, you see that every time that I insert the car, I have to either be very precise or do, you know, some extra feedback to control the rear from over-rotating. But on the other hand, we have amazing traction outside of the turns. It actually would change nothing on the purse mate. It actually would change nothing to any car at all. No, that fast turn here is a little bit difficult. Oh, so fast on changing direction that I actually went over the curb. So fast. Now, more weight at the rear also means at the end better brakes, because obviously the rear the rear tires have more weight, so you can use a little bit more braking force at the rear. Oh, that's so fast. At least it feels very fast. I don't know if I'm going fast, but it feels so much more agile. It wants to turn direction so much more, and the reaction to the accelerator pedal is instant, like pump. But I do feel also some, you know, understeery. I have some slight understeer, not too much, but I have some slight understeer on power exit. If I have good traction at the rear, then, you know, my front end washes out a little bit. And of course, at turn in, I can feel the rear end moving around a little bit. Nice. Let's see where we are for now. Oh, 42.5 already. That's fast. I still don't know the car. See some oversteer here that I have to catch as fast as I can. I can hear the traction control, you know, engaging. Here it is, some understeer at exit. Again, some understeer. Have to be a little bit careful when I apply the accelerator. Here it is, the oversteer at this very difficult downhill turn. I have oversteer. So I have to make sure to control my turn-in inputs at the chicane. This is also another turn here that ooh! Haha! Last famous words. I was about to say that this is another turn that I don't feel so confident, and here it is. Wow, that was bad. That was one of those moments that, you know, if you don't pay attention, the car will bite you hard, and it just did so. And I just destroyed, you know, uh, an Audi R8 GT3. All right, so let's go out again. Let's not change anything. What the traction control sounds like? Well, you can hear it is that the engine normally goes up like this, right? So let me put as high traction control as possible. Okay, so 8 here, and listen now to the accelerator. Listen to the engine. You see, now that's the traction control, and you can see it also the revs. Look at the revs. You see how it trembles but doesn't go up too much. Now, obviously, this is at maximum level. This is something to use, on when it's wet, when it's very wet. So we go down to something like 2 or 3, and but that's what it sounds like. Diesel, I don't understand what you're saying, honestly. All right. So let's. No, right now I'm using the aggressive setup. I don't have a custom setup right now for this car. So I'm using the aggressive setup. I need to learn the car a little bit, understand what it's doing, and then we'll see. And we'll see if we can improve. But I mean, we are already at 42.5 with the aggressive setup, so lots of errors still. So I think that's already a decent setup to use. I think we can do that. We can go down to 42 flat. You see the turn in, I'm afraid to turn in because I overshoot the turn and I was afraid to bring the car in because it's a trickier car. You have to be more careful, You cannot trust it 100%. It demands from you proper driving. It's a more advanced car, let's say. Now that goes much better here. Track temp is low. I think it's 13 degrees, something like that, as we had at the start of the race at Kyalami race last Friday. Hello, Zao Santos. Thanks for the follow. It takes a little bit of a different driving style, this car. Oh, again. Come on. It's more like, point, rotate, and go again. I'm having more difficulties to bring more speed inside the turns. So I need to make a little bit different lines. Tiny bit of differences. But sometimes you have to take the proper line, like here. There's not much you can do in this line, in this turn. A bit of careful here, that's it, like that. So fast to turn direction here. next lap we can maybe try traction control at level 2, because the car seems much faster and has more traction. We're already getting faster. Again, ooh. It just needs more input for me. You see that I'm starting, working with the steering. So 41.9, that's good. Let's go to traction 2 and ABS 2 and see what we can do. You see, I have to work a little bit more. Not good. Oh, that curb there. It doesn't like me and I don't like it. Oh my god. So ABS 2, I don't like it. Let's go back to ABS 3. It locks my front tires a little bit too much. And I'm not prepared for this. Also, traction control 2 seems to, I'm losing some time trying to, work with the oversteer. So maybe that's not a good idea, but we'll see. See how it rotates. It wants to rotate so much. Not good, not good. All right. So let's see. So I've managed to do 41.9 with the car, full fuel. Let's see if we can do a couple of clicks here and there and possibly improve something. So I'm gonna do something that most people don't want to do, but I found out that it suits me always better. It's not really it doesn't really make the car more enjoyable, but for how I drive, I found out that it makes the car better for me in terms of lap times usually. So so the car right now turns a lot. I would like to have a little bit less oversteer going into the turn. I would like to have the car a little bit more stable. Why is that? Because I've found out, especially on laps, on tracks like this, that if I can trust the car, because I'm not so good of a driver, I'm not up to a level that, I can use a very neutral car. So if I cannot trust the car to attack, to be more, aggressive with my inputs, go into accelerator sooner, turning harder and so on, then I'm losing time trying to control the car from over rotation. So most people, even drivers that they are not so fast, they tend to okay, more front end grip, more front end grip, more front end grip, so that whatever speed they are managing to get in the turn, they can turn the wheel and the car rotates. But then, if you're losing time trying to control the car, it makes no sense, really. It doesn't help you, right? So what I'm going to try here is I'm going to go down 2 clicks on the rear, usual stuff, 2 clicks down on the rear, and see if I can improve. I need to raise a bit the pressures because it's cold, and I need some extra pressures here. So let's go up to 27.4. It's really cold now. And also here 26 and 27.3 and some extra 1, 2, 3, 4. And again 27.4 here and 27.4 here. Okay, so let's see what we do. But those pressures are just because it's cold right now. So let's see what we can do. But Diesel asks, even if I go full front wheel rate, I don't lose any mechanical grip. Well, you do, but the thing is, full stiff doesn't mean infinite stiff, right? I mean, uh, the values of the springs that we use are the values that the team uses. No, they're not arbitrary. So they know up to what limit to arrive. That's why you have those kind of values. If you go here, for example, in the mechanical grip, you go up to 195. That's it. You couldn't put 300,000, but that won't work. And they know it, so that's why you go up to 195. Okay? So those numbers here are not just imaginary numbers. They know that the car works from here to there. It works like that. So it's not like if you put 195, you won't have extra understeer. You're going to have extra understeer. It's just not excessive because they know that, you can work up to a point. So that's how it is. Anyway, back to driving. Okay, so we have 2 millimeters lower rear end, and obviously some extra pressure on the tires. And let's see if the car now is a little bit more easy to control. Of course, I understand that I'm going to have some extra understeer here and there, but for now I can deal with that. So let's see. I can feel the car already better, and I think I can attack a little bit more. Some understeer here. Again, you have to be always careful because after the understeer, if you keep, trying to insert the car will rotate. I mean, it's not like you can change completely the behavior of a mid-engine car. We induced some understeer, but the car, as a character, does want to rotate anyway. So you have to be careful. Much better here. I feel more confident. All right. It feels safer. Yeah. You can see that I'm not fighting the car so much already. Yeah, I can, you know, you saw that I was able to put the car inside the turn and it didn't turn around to bite me. Whoops, here I still have to be a little bit more careful. I still haven't nailed this turn around here. Much better here. I'm probably now waiting too much for the car. Maybe I can attack more. Yep. Here are some gains. Pretty good here. Right. Oof. That curve over here. A tiny little bit better on that last turn, but still lots to be gained over there. Yeah. Okay, so we gained a little bit. 41.7. We can improve a little bit extra, I think. You see, I've over-rotated the car. I'm too used to the Aston right now, and I'm over-rotating. Ooh. That was much better here. It takes some extra, you know, you have to be more attentive of what you're doing. That is much better here. Yeah, finally. Finally a good turn. Nice. A little bit of understeer. That's a nice lap. That's another nice lap. 41.37. That's a fast car. That's a fast car that shows that it's also a hard car. So the thing is, okay, I can do this lap now, and probably, so let's save the replay here. Save the replay. So I can do this fast lap. Okay, and let's go inside and have a look at it. But the problem is, can I do this lap for, lap after lap after lap for the race. That's going to be much more trickier. So let's go here, for example. So this the lap starts. Okay, braking again a little bit before the Aston. So did you notice that I start the braking a little bit before the Aston? Now the car really wants to rotate. Watch my hand here. Okay, so I'm going like this. I can attack now a little bit. You see, because before I was really, really very careful. But instantly, you see, counter steer. I have to control the car and I have to be fast. It's not something like that. Okay, the car goes in. No, I have to be fast. Then acceleration, lots of traction. You gain meters, But you saw how the car wanted to over rotate. So we go over there, and you can see also the car jumping around a little bit on the various bumps. So probably we can fix a little bit that with some setup work and some damper work, but we don't have too much time now. Again, going into the turn, and then look at it. So instantly, the car rotates, and I have to control it with the steering if I want to keep my foot down on the accelerator. So this is a hard car. It asks from you much more input. So it's not a car that, okay, I can trust it, stay there, and the car will do everything for me. It's a car that you really have to work with it. And imagine yourself 1 hour, 2 hour stint with this car, constantly changing, and also tire wear comes in and means that you're gonna slide more. The car will be faster on the straights, and you're gonna slide more. It is a pretty stable car in this very fast turn. I really liked it here. I could, once it was on a stable state, I could go into it and the car would react very nice. That was a surprise for me. I was afraid of this very fast turn. It worked much better. Even over here that I overdid it, I managed to keep the car on my line. Again, hard braking. Look how gentle I have to be going inside the turn. I cannot do as with the Aston that I was, much more aggressive. I have to be gentle going into the turn, and then once I have stopped, I'm over the apex. I have to be careful. You can see lots of little movements just to be sure that I'm keeping the car. And now on the chicane here, because it goes downhill, so all the weight transfer goes at the front and the rear end gets light and goes to overtake. I have to be so much smoother. Look at my inputs again here. You see, smooth on the driving, and then instantly on the accelerator here, not because I want really to go fast, but because I have to save myself. I'm fighting for life, because otherwise if I step off the accelerator, the car will rotate and I will end up to the wall. So I have to go on the accelerator to stabilize the car, and that obviously, if you do it properly, also helps you, because it means that you go on the accelerator sooner. But you have to do it, otherwise you're going to be slower again. All right, so now braking again. First gear, this time I made it. By some strange reason, I always overshooting that turn, possibly because with the Aston you're braking so much later. Now, on the accelerator, but you see I'm not 100% accelerator. I have to go slower. I'm a little bit afraid of, fast reactions of the car. But I managed it, and now I have the traction to go out. So let's go a bit faster here. I mean, even the car bottoms out here heavily. So I might, need to control this. Now, slow again. Right, so very nice turn in, but again, you see how the car already starts to rotate. You see, the car is rotating here. And then when I go to the accelerator, some extra understeer. And then it rotates again, I have to control, extra understeer again. So it keeps on, it's a short blanket. You get traction from one end, you go understeer. You get no understeer, then you get no traction and it rotates. This is one of the turns that's very hard especially with this car, because you are over the crest. At the crest, you have to brake, so the rear end gets very light on the air, so less grip, and you have to go in fast because it's a very fast right-hander, and you have to be very precise to not get that bad sausage here curb, which is very high. So if you don't do it properly, the car, wants to over rotate, wants to go straight. It's with this car is particularly difficult. So look at that again. Understeer. Now it starts rotating. I mean, I prefer to have understeer to be more safe, because before that, you remember at the other lap with the other setup that over rotated a bit and I went straight into the wall. Now braking again, first gear, into the turn, go get the apex. Car is better here. Now I can go on the accelerator, confident, and there you have it. We have 1.4137, something like that. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So that was a nice lap. Okay, so let's go back to the garage. Let's save the setup. Let's give it a name. Let's call it basic Audi 10 degrees C. Okay, 105 liters, so that you know what you're driving. So that's the start. I would start with this setup and start modifying things to make the car. I would always try to make the car more stable, more safe. And once I'm at the point that I like the car and it doesn't want to kill me anymore, and I understand what the car says and the car respects me, then I'm gonna try to get some extra grip here and there. So this is usually what I do. All right, so that's it for the Audi. I think we understood what it's doing. Let's get out. Let me know if there are any questions on the chat. Uh, Diesel, again, the front aero variation is not where the aero balance is where it moves to the front or to the rear from the 65-60 value of ride height. So we're not telling you where the balance is. So in particular in the Porsche, the car at 60-65 already starts with a ton of rear end aero balance. So you have 20% at the front of the whole aerodynamic force. So what you're doing with a proper setup is you move that to around 30, 35, and that means 50% at the front, something like that. So this is not an absolute number. This is a variation. It gives you an idea of where you're moving forward or backwards from an initial position, right? Yeah, 10,000 subscribers means drunk drives marathon. Oh no, I'm gonna be. I mean, I'm gonna throw up while driving. I'm gonna be terrible. Electronic. Why a lower ride height? Those cars are extremely sensitive in ride height. Extremely sensitive, and we are simulating that so well for the first time probably. I really advise you to go back to my playlist on how to set up your car, go through the videos so that you understand why the ride height is the number one thing or number two thing that you do on those cars. Those cars are extremely sensible to the ride height. The whole aero balance changes a lot, and this is what you want to do to make the car behave as you like it. So go back to my playlist on how to set up your car, and you'll find out why. All right, so Tofini, non ho tempo di fare i sub in italiano. Se qualcuno vuole, volentieri lo lascio aperto, ma io personalmente non ho tempo. O li faccio solo in italiano o solo in inglese. No worries, Diesel. That's why we're here. The brake balance is, well, that's the setup that we tried here is the aggressive setup. It's just the aggressive setup. We just made two two changes, one on the right head and one on the tires. So everything is as the aggressive setup. Nothing changed on that. Uh, pa, 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 pa. Yeah, try to improve the driving, then go to the setup. No, first understand your driving, then slowly go to the setup. Philip, I just said what the 2.6 on the aero variation means. It means that at base right height 65-60 with a wing, I don't remember now, 3 or 4, you can see that probably. So if the car is like this, okay, so if the car is like this, so you have almost 0, okay. So that means that, let me show you, the balance of the aero. So let me move this here. The balance of the aero at 65-60 right height, okay, in this car is somewhere around here, okay, somewhere around here. Usually it is close to the center of gravity, sometimes not, but it is somewhere around here, okay. Now, if I move the right height, so let's say that I lower the front, oops, so I lower the front like this, and you see that it goes to 1.3% at the front. If I raise the rear, it goes to 2% at the front. So it means that before we had the aero balance here, and now it moved 2%, okay, so 2% to the front. So probably is somewhere like, here now, somewhere like here now. So this is what it means. So the front aero variation doesn't give you, because we cannot give you the exact position of the aero balance, but it lets you understand where the aero balance moves from an initial point, so that you know that you're doing some changes to the car and the weight balance moves forward or backwards by some percent. All right, so this is it. Okay. All right. The right height values normally in the cars are measured in specific places that are also inside the body. So, for example, at the front, they are somewhere here. So they don't measure like 54, but they measure like 75. Okay, so this is the right height at the front, and at the rear it might be here. So again, it measures something differently. But that was really hard to make for you guys understand what is going on, because each car is going to be completely different. So we decided that the right height points for all the cars are at the wheel axis, front and rear, practically at the lower end of the under tray. So at the bottom of the car, this is where we measure the right height. Okay, for the setup menu. Now, obviously, the aero map is all configured on the correct right heights as in the technical manuals of the car, but we make the offset and then we give you the right height exactly here and here. Okay, hope that it's clear. Now, Philip, the percentage is calculated against the initial position of the aero pressure balance. Go back again, listen to the video, because you have to be very precise of what's going on. Alexandro. Alexandro, τι λες ρε μεγάλη. Yes, of course. Especially, well, of course, you start with a symmetric setup in the pressures, and then you go on with other things. I love you too, Nacha. Yes, Tortellini, exactly. So, each car. So Tortellini says many SRO documents have BOP on crazy right heights. Each car has its own points of measurement of the right height. It would have been extremely confusing for the people to understand what is going on, and it wouldn't be visually normal because obviously you see all the cars pretty much at the same right height. So one would have been 100, the other would have been I don't know 60. So it would have been confusing. So we decided to we will put the right heights on the axis at the bottom of the body. All right, so let's go back and get the Bentley. Right. Vortex ci sarà la lista quando sarà il momento. O penso che ci sia già la lista. Comunque sono le macchine dell'Europeo GT4 Challenge, qualcosa. So Bentley, look at that. This is massive car. So again, the Bentley is another car that has the engine pretty much here, so mid front engine, and transaxle. Transaxle again means that the gearbox is not here, okay, but it is at the back around here. So that moves the whole balance, the weight balance of the car to the rear, and makes again another car that has around 50% at the front and 50% at the rear. Now the big difference of this car with the Aston is that it's much longer. It has one of the longest wheelbases. Wheelbase is the distance of the front of the wheel to the rear wheel. Okay, so the wheelbase is one of the longest. I think it is 3 meters, almost 2 meters and 90 something. So it's really very long. What that means? It means that the car is a little bit less agile, so it doesn't want to rotate so much. Again, we are talking about a car with hammer time, with the front engine here, so it wants to change, direction with a bit of force, and it has a little bit of less traction at the rear. But every time that the rear goes out of shape like this, the car usually wants to go back straight like that. You see that the car wants to go back straight. If you're traveling like this, the car wants to go back straight. So I remind you again, the Audi is like this. The engine is at the rear, mid-engine rear. So every time that you lose a little bit of traction or grip at the rear, lateral grip, then the car simply wants to completely rotate and spin. So this is the exact opposite. And it is also, as I said, very long. Less agility, but much more stability, which on long races, this car really comes out as one of the best to drive. You can really trust it, and it's really good to drive for long races. So, what do you mean it's coded by Lord Kunos? The cars are not coded. The physics engine is coded. The cars, I put all the physics in. The physics engine is ready, and the physics engine is, having a book and a pen, and you have to then input all the parameters in. So, okay, so let's go back in. All right. Nice. So let's go and get the aggressive setup and minimize this down. We're gonna need some extra fuel again and pressures, but we'll see the pressures later. All right, so let's go in and start some laps. Now, obviously, the biggest difference with the Bentley is that it is, of course, right-hand driven. So, sorry again, you have to, customize yourself in order to, to understand that, okay, you have lots of car at your left side. This is another twin turbo engine, very nice engine, V8, slight turbo lag, not too much. And because the car has so much big front area, obviously it has more drag, and because it has more drag, it has a higher power than the other cars, higher maximum power. But again, it all equalizes out because of the higher drag. At the end, the car makes the same top speed, more or less, as the other cars. That's how the BOP works practically. So you can see here how much the car wants to go straight, and it's not so agile, but so much safer already. You can already see that, I'm driving really bad, but the car doesn't do anything wrong. Of course, it wants to slide out, even more than the Aston, because it's longer, so it's less agile. But that means that you can go on the car with much more violence, and the car will help you. It doesn't want to bite back. But as you can see, I'm suffering a little bit of power oversteer. It's very gradual, very nice, easily controlled, but that doesn't mean that you don't lose time. So let's see here again. Okay, braking. Ooh. You can see how the rear end wants to rotate. Again, rotation, power oversteer, and less agility. So that means that my driving has to change. Now before, with the Audi, I had to be very careful, how to drive the car. I had to be very, very smooth with my inputs and very fast to correct. With this car, I have to turn in a little bit sooner because the car needs more time to turn in. And then I have to be careful to not let the car spin the wheels way too much, because otherwise I'm gonna have lots of power oversteer, and that means it's not hard to control because the car is easy and safe, but it means that I'm losing lots of time, because in the meantime, the tires are spinning and the traction control is working and the gauges, and obviously I'm not moving forward. So let's see what we can do. You see, I have to work a little bit, not to keep the car under control, but just to avoid the car from spinning its rear tires, because it has more power but less traction. Doesn't want to turn in so easy. You see how it keeps on rotating, and in the meantime, you're not making meters forward. You're not gaining time. See? Power oversteer. But then again, here, so much easier. But you have to turn faster, because the car doesn't want to change direction. Again, you see power oversteer. Fast car, very fast car. Already very, very low lap times in much, much less time. Look at that. Ooh. 42.6.
Well done, mate. The fastest lap so far.
Ah, you see how much power oversteer. Easy to control, fun, but lost so much time. So what I'm thinking here is I need some extra traction, possibly mechanical traction at the rear end, and we'll see what we can do. The tire pressures are very low, so we can gain from there somewhat. So let's go in and possibly change the tire pressures first. All right, so let's go in. Nice. Have to sing Tante a good ACC. All right. Okay, so to the garage and let's check our pressures, which are very, very low. So let's go up to 27 point something here. Something like that. And 27.4. Right. And this is again very low. So 27.2, 6, like that. And 27 point, yeah, something like this. Okay, so this is the situation. Now I would also like some extra traction, but I also have some understeer. So let's try first as it is, and then we'll see what we can do. So all good, all clear until now. Let's see if we can make this car go down to 41s. All right, continue. All good of the chat, guys. If you need something to ask, just let me know. Oh, again, the power oversteer. It really is a long car. Very long car. It has advantages and disadvantages as all the other cars. The main disadvantage is obviously lack of agility. doesn't want to change direction so easy. The big advantage is that you can go over curbs and almost nothing happens. Some extra grip here. Have to be careful with your accelerator application, because otherwise the rear end starts to slide around and you're losing time. Getting faster. I have to catch it before it starts sliding. That's it. Come on, turn, turn, change direction. You can do it. The traction control is good, but not so advanced as the Aston Martin one. Yeah, now we're talking. Whoa. Practically nothing happened from going outside the curve there. So much stability. All right, so we are already in 41.946. Nice. Maybe we can gain something. So much stability here too on this very fast right-hander. Oh, that was me. That was me. Maybe we can gain something. We lost something. We gained something. We lost again. But yeah, we are at 41 highs right now. So let's see. All right, so let's go in. Nice. Osas is here. Guys, let's make something clear. So small parenthesis here, because I also saw some very, very bad comments in the community post. This is my free time. It's not support for the game. Okay, so I'm doing something because I like to be with you, because I like to, play, to have some free time, to get away a little bit of the development time, which is very hard, especially nowadays with, 3 or 4 deadlines to cover. So let me be very clear. First of all, nobody has to tell me what to do on my free time. And I'm saying that for some guys that they said, oh, you should fix the bugs before, doing streams. No, I can do whatever I like, whenever I like. That's my free time. Developers are not your slaves. Secondly, we do a product. We don't do a service. Okay? So if you don't like the service, you're not paying for the service. You just paid for the product once. So this is the time to get close to the community, have some fun together, learn something in the meantime. It's fine if we can do it. Help if I can help someone, right? But if we keep on going with the same questions on things that we have already answered on the forums and we have made clear, and there is a support forum for that, and people can answer you or not if they don't have an answer. If you keep bringing this here and making the evening or the night negative, then I'm gonna ban you. That's all. So keep it calm. If you are here for having fun, that's fine. If you are here just, to bring negativity or asking things that or I cannot reply, or I'm not able to reply right now, or it's not the moment to reply right now, then it's not the correct place to be here for you. That's all. All right? Okay. Okay, so let's go back and have some fun, because this is what we're doing here. Return to the garage. So the pressures were not bad. Yeah, pressures were good. So here's the situation. I would like some extra mechanical grip out of the slow turns. Okay? So possibly, I could lower by a couple of clicks, 1, 2, 3 clicks, the rear wheel rate. Okay. Possibly I could lower a little bit the dampers, but that's maybe another time. But I know that by lowering the rear wheel rate to gain some traction, I will also gain some understeer, especially at the fast turns. So what I could do is that I could raise by 1 click or 2, we'll see, the rear ride height. So what I've done right now is some extra mechanical grip at the slow speed turns up pretty much everywhere. Some extra mechanical traction, okay, and some extra front aero bias. The front aero bias will help me point the car, especially at mid to high speed turns. I could also maybe lower a click or 2 the preload differential and see if I can gain some extra, stability out of the turns without losing too much from wheel speed. So let's see what we've managed. Yes, Moip says, would I recommend to run a lower diff preload on long wheelbase cars to make them more agile? Yes, I would do that, and you can see already that into their preset setups. The problem, of course, is that they already have low weight at the rear. That means that they tend to spin their wheels too much. So if you lower the preload more, that means that you will limit the over rotation, but the inner wheel will start spinning. When you start spinning the inner wheel like that, it means that you have less forward movement, you gain less meters. So you have to find a compromise between having the rear end stable but less forward traction, or the rear end that rotates too much but you're also moving forward more. So again, we're talking about slow turns. So find the compromise, but as a rule of thumb, yes, you're right. Okay. Yep, it does. Yeah, Tortellini, it does. Yes, indeed, it does. Okay, let's go for another run. Let's see if we have improved. This is more or less the same logic I followed for the Aston. So, softer rear end to gain some traction, more forward aero balance to eliminate some of the understeer. Diesel, yes, that can also happen. Oh yeah, I left the McLaren for last, Sergey, sorry, because at least I can have the excuse that I'm so tired, I'm dying lap after lap because I'm just tired. So that's the excuse, the official excuse. Okay, so let's see what we did. Obviously, I'm already noticing some slight differences. You see some understeer here, but the acceleration was easier to handle. It wasn't over-rotating. High speed, good. Yeah. Yeah, I can go on the accelerator harder. Whoops. Ha, I forgot that I have lots of car at the left side. A little bit of power oversteer, but that's something that you won't going to eliminate completely with this kind of car. Fuel load so high because we are trying to compare the cars to my race setup with the Aston from the race that we did last Friday here with the Aston Martin. And of course we started, fresh tires and 105 liters of fuel. So I'm trying to compare all this car in this kind of conditions. And besides, I'm not so fast of a guy in qualifying trim, but as almost all the guys here know, I do give, I have a pretty good performance in race trim. With I'm able to do many laps consistently with decent lap times. We had a pretty good race last Friday, right? Hope you guys enjoyed it. Yes, increasing preload, you have understeer on fast turns. Well done, Ryzek, exactly. Hello, Crate, welcome. All right, so I'm driving very badly. Let's focus a little bit for this lap and see. Whoa! So, let's focus a little bit, and in the meantime, I'm reading the chat on the most dangerous, turn of the circuit. So why not? And yes, Bentley sent me the bill, of course. Oh my God, that was really bad send. All right. Yes, John Smith. That's pretty much correct. Either the server issues, unfortunately, they are a little bit linked on two main problems. One, there are too many of you guys for how the system works. With the lockdown, obviously, everybody wants to play, and there are way too many people, especially when we have something, official races. People look the official races and, they are like, oh, I would like to try that too. And so they go, online, and we get too many people at the same time. That's one of the reasons. The second reason, which is even more important, but it is a combination of the first one, is that our system takes information of Steam ID, etc., from the Steam servers. And the Steam servers are really hammered right now for an amazing amount of people online playing various games. So sometimes they just time out and don't give us, Steam IDs and stuff like that. And if you're trying to connect to the lobby and the Steam server doesn't give back your Steam ID, then you cannot see the lobby and you cannot see the server. So the combination of those two things, unfortunately, brings all those problems. Kevin is on it. I know it's working right now. He was very, very busy with the console porting and the multiplayer of console. Now he's getting back to the PC version again, and I'm pretty sure he will try the best he can to improve the situation. But usually, you know, when you have such problems, you go out the game and, you know, reload the game, or even if you, you know, reset your router in the worst case scenario, you have good possibilities to, you know, get back working the lobbies. But sometimes it's inevitable. No, it's dedicated servers. It always has been dedicated servers. So I have the car that it's pretty nice to drive, but either I'm not driving very well or the setup is not so fast anymore. Let's see. Ooh. Hello, Sahin. Welcome. And Blind Stealer. Welcome, guys. Exactly, yeah. Try to switch it on and off again. Oh, come on, come on. Why am I reading? Guys, don't let me read the chat when I'm driving the most, you know, difficult turn of the of the circuit every time. Eimer, that's fixed today. No more bugs at the start of the grid. This is, as far as I know, is fixed today with the 1.43. No, I don't know about that, Sergi. Okay, so the car is a little bit slow, it seemed to me. But I'm not so sure about that. Let me give it some extra front. So that's one click of extra front. And let's go. Let's go. Okay, let me concentrate a little bit. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. I'm embarrassing myself. Come on. I'm really embarrassing myself. Ha. Yes, yes, of course, Leon. Και βέβαια είμαι ένας εισέρες. 3-4 φορές νομίζω, δεν θυμάμαι. Activate Goblin Head, right. Come on. Zordier has joined. Zordier never dislikes my streams. Oh, listen to the sound. Bring the thunder. Yeah. Come on, let's go. MH Musician, thank you for the follow. Nice and fast. I've lost the apex. Ooh, too much. much. I'm slow. Qual-fired monster. So true, my friend. Yeah. And I'm slower. Doesn't like it. Okay, let's do one more lap. Oh, yeah, here you go again. Yeah, bro, it's too soft now. Doesn't like it. Having to concentrate way too much to do these lap times here. I was expecting it to be a bit faster than that. Oh, yeah. No, it doesn't like this kind of setup. So it doesn't really work. Nope. 41.8, but it's not a lap that, you know, comes out with ease. Yeah, and why? All right, so yeah, so ban the guy. If it's a copy paste, you know, we have our nice moderators now. You are free to bring out the ban hammer. All right. So, that's interesting. The car is safe. It's nice to drive, but nah, it doesn't really make the lap time. Really make the lap time. So, I will try to find a compromise. We were at 150 before here. Let's go up to 140, maybe. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. We don't have money to contract drivers. Any driver, you know, picks whatever they want. We never paid any drivers at all because no money. We prefer to give the money to the license to get more content. You know, that's how it works. If you have, Rafael, if you have too much wheel shake when you are stopping, when the car is almost stopping, then that's normal because the ABS releases and your tires are locking at around 10 kilometers, 50 kilometers per hour. It's faster to release the ABS and locally to beat the tires to stop sooner. So that's normal when you are almost stopping. If it rumbles when the car is stopped, then probably you have too much minimum force on the force feedback settings. Check that. All right. So they are cheaters, guys, in the CIA and your bank account and everywhere. So if we were able to make software that nobody could cheat absolutely, then probably our developers will be working for some secret agency. So at some point, eventually, cheaters comes always. I have made a video about that. You know, go and set it. I have also posted on the forum. So the thing is, Kevin's working on that too. So at some point, we'll see what we're gonna do. Right. So so maybe we should put a little bit less here, 76. And the dampers are a bit strange. I don't really like them so much, but that's for a different kind of, much more difficult. um I don't know why are we losing time. Thanks, Marlesco. Thank you so much, mate. uh Thanks, Virtual Reality Motorsports. Wow. So I don't know, maybe we should go back to 70 here and gain some traction out of the corners and see what we can do. Okay, so let's try again. But for sure, the car doesn't do lap times here as easy as the Audi. It's much easier than the Audi. Much easier than the Audi. It's easier even than the Aston, probably. But not so fast. Also, probably I'm not yet so used to the right-hand driving. Could that be also in terms of precision of where I want to place the car? Ooh, some understeer here for the first time. That's multiplayer stuff, so I don't know what to tell you. So obviously, Assetto Corsa Competizione multiplayer arrived to be able to, to host 108 clients. I think it's the record. So you need to, make compromises to have so many clients. Now 50 has become the new 20, so. Have some understeer now, but let's see if that understeer translates in better lap times, because the final judge is the lap time. Well, that's for sure, but still the BOP takes care of that. Oh, I have to brake sooner there. I might be needing some rear end brake balance. Whoa. So let me go back by 65 and see if that's better. Yeah, it seems that I can rotate a little bit the car on the brakes, which is always handy with this long car. Yeah, much easier here. I think I have a better turn-in with some extra rearwards brake bias. Yeah, that was much better here. Oversteer. We have again some extra over rotation. That was not bad. Whoop. touched something there. My mistake. And my mistake again. That's how you ruin a decent lap. Yeah. Turning here is much better than before, so the brake bias was very important for this car. Look how much time I gained. I was like 3/10 down, and now I'm just 1, so I gained 2/10 of a second just by properly braking on that turn. Yeah. Okay, let's do a better lap. Yeah. So. Okay, I've gained some lap here. Never with a 3. Welcome. Ah! Damn. That over rotation. If I could fix that over rotation, the acceleration, that would be great. Don't read the chat. Don't read the chat. Nice. Not so nice. Nah. Wow, thanks, Dave. Thank you so much. Okay, 41.78784. Sebastian. Thank you, Dave. Really appreciate it. All right, so that wasn't bad. if only I could eliminate just a hint of that over rotation and gain some traction. How can I do this? So, Rafael says, okay, Rafael, remind me in a minute and I will tell you. So how can I do this? Mechanical grip is good. Maybe on the dampers I can do something. So let's try. It depends, Kim Jong understeer. If you have curbs, then eliminate, lower the arb and raise the springs. If you don't have curbs, make the springs softer and raise the rear arb. Something like that. So let's try to put this to 12. Okay. And this to 20. And try again. I also want some extra rebound at the front. So this, hopefully, those changes will make the rear under transition to give me some extra traction. Right, so let's go back, do a couple of laps more, and see if we can bring it down to 41.5. So that we have some time to drive also the McLaren. Because it's late, but we have to do it. I think it's worse than before. Yeah, that car needs probably a stiffer suspension all around. It probably rolls way too much right now, but we'll see. That wasn't bad here. Forgot to modify the brake bias. Oh, actually, it's not bad. Let's see. Nice. A little bit of oversteer here, but it is the slowest turn around here. All right, so let's see. Oops, too much curb. Too late on braking. Mistakes, so many mistakes. That was better here, much better. Nice. Yeah. Tiago! Yeah, the car is better. Yeah, but also lots of car at my left. Have to remember this. All right, let's see. Nice, nice. Stable. I like it. Very cool. Oh. So. Could have done better. Also could have done better. Nice, nice. That's a much better setup. Nice, 41.56. I think we'll call it a day. And that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Nice. All right, so let's see the replay and save it so that you can also check the replay afterwards, guys. So last lap here. Once again, let's go in. And this time you will see, so the car has a tiny bit higher top speed, needs some space to brake, so you need to brake a little bit sooner. Much better traction, you see, much better traction here. I'm already at flat out on the accelerator. Good rotation, nice rotation, and already flat out again on the accelerator, very nice. It's very, very stable around this very, very fast right-hander, so much stability. Brake, rotation with the brake bias a little bit backwards. I could have done better here. Also here, a little bit too afraid. Could have go and turn direction a bit faster. I had to telegraph 2 times. I've missed a little bit the apex here, you can see. Tiny little bit. Again, could have been better in my line to rotate the car sooner. And another miss of the apex here. You see, a little bit too wide. But good acceleration, very aggressive here. You see, I can trust the car, very, very aggressive. Braking into the turn, nice line, acceleration, not too much rotation, pretty good stability and traction, and another lap in 141.5, 141 mid. So pretty good, pretty decent lap, and a car that I can, trust much more. So let's go to the garage. Setup. I have to remind to bring this down to 65 and save the setup for you guys. So this is, as we said, basic. Yeah. What was that? Bentley. 11 degrees, 110 liters, 10 degrees, whatever. Save. All right. Okay, so back and back. Yeah, very, very nice car. Very nice car. Needs some extra work for me. but once you get into the rhythm, really nice car. Okay, so now let's go to the hardest car for maybe. But before that, let's go back and give you guys the setups here. So let's go here and create a new. So this is Audi R8 Evo. Oh, come on, Evo GT3. All right, so we'll go in here, and this is the Audi. Let's go in, and I think we have also some replays. Maybe we can see them before that. So let's go back, and this instead is, what's the name? Actually, let me rename this. Rename this to the actual name so that you guys can use it exactly as it is. Evo. Right, and then let's go back to the Bentley Continental. So Bentley Continental GT3 2018. All right, bonk, go in there, Kyalami, and this goes in also. And then we have replays. So Kyalami replays. Ooh. Kyalami replays. Let's go setup, replay, saved, I think. Yeah, 1, 2, and 3. Nice. It's on all three of them. It's the last one. We will try the Nismo on the next race, maybe a Silverstone. I think we are at Silverstone. So Friday, I'm gonna do practice with the Aston at Silverstone. Next Friday race, and then we can try some extra cars again. That's how we're gonna do this kind of thing. All right, so let's move on. And now we have the McLaren. Oh, what one of the most beautiful cars out there. Look at this thing. I mean, seriously, wow, amazing. And I mean, what if you have doors that open like this? I mean, what do you want extra from life? Come on, I mean, this. Look at that, boink, boink. I mean, if I had a McLaren, I would, play with the door every day. Just, I would just, go to the garage, open the door, close the door, open the door, close the door. Obviously, at some point it will break, so it's a good thing that I don't have a McLaren. So the McLaren, the main thing of the McLaren, again, mid-engine here. The fuel again is mid here, and oh yeah, speed limit in a minute. And it has a carbon fiber tube chassis. It has a carbon fiber chassis. You can see it here. You see all of this is actual carbon fiber. All of the chassis. So that means an extremely stiff car with very lightweight chassis, very low inertia. It's a prototype. It's not really a GT3 car. It's a prototype. It's very fast to change direction, and obviously because of all of those situations, the BOP heated very. I mean, look at the size of that diffuser. It's unbelievable. It has so small frontal area, it's so low, which means that the car has amazing efficiency, but obviously the engine power is kept at very low levels, one of the lowest powered cars, because otherwise, it would be way too fast. So really amazing. Ciao, Alessandro. Okay, so let's get this car, go back again. All right. So Setup, we're going to get the aggressive as usual, go up to 105 liters, which is, again, I remind you, is the same setup and practice I did with the Aston Martin. So we have a very, very good, how to say, um, benchmark, to compare the cars with. Where I'm uploading those setups are getting uploaded here. So Aris.Drives, G-Drive, shared setups and stuff. Here, guys, here. It will always be also into the description of the videos from now on. So let's go up to 27.3 because we already know that it is way too cold here, and we know that the cars need higher pressures. Okay, let's go like this. And okay, so the speed limit question. Let me do a lap and then come back again.
Green light. Give it all you can.
So let's do this. Let me do a lap and then come back. Yes, I remember the speed limit. So this is first lap to understand a little bit the car. So this is a car that has big amounts of downforce, big amounts of aerodynamic efficiency, so low drag and big downforce at the same time, very slow speed, very stiff chassis, which means that it is a car that needs precision from your driving. If you're not precise with your driving, then at some point it will, bite you back. And you need to bring as much speed as possible inside the turns. Wow. Hello, Sheldon, welcome. Hi, Alexander. All right, so let's go back to the pits now and tell you about the pit limiter. All right, so did you know that in Assetto Corsa Competizione the pit limiter is not fixed? If you are in a practice session, okay, the pit limiter can let you go a little bit over the limit. So right now we'll go up to 60 and go down again, 60. I will even, I can manage to go to 58, 55, maybe 60, and I won't be disqualified. So now I'm going out, like this, and I'm not disqualified. Now, obviously, if I go way too high with the pit limit, then I'm going to be disqualified. So let's try this again. Let's go out, return to garage. All right, continue, and this time let's go over the speed limit if I can make it. No, I didn't make it. I was way too close. But you can go a little bit higher. But if you are in a race and you go to 52 or 53 and you don't slow down instantly, you are going to be disqualified. So the speed limit is 50, but as long as you are into a practice session, it will, it's not so severe. It will let you go a little bit higher. No big deal. But if you're in a race and you go even 1 or 2 kilometers per hour more, and you don't slow down instantly, or even sometimes even if you don't slow, even if you don't slow down, then it will instantly disqualify you. So be careful. You can do this in practice sessions. You cannot do this during the race. All right? Okay. So let's start to push a little bit the McLaren and see how it reacts. You already saw that I got over the curb. Extremely stiff chassis and suspensions. The car already wanted to kill me, so have to be very careful. Again, mid-engine car, lots of agility and reactivity. Oops. And I'm reading the chat. Yeah, but don't do that, Victor. Don't do that during race. You're gonna get disqualified. Yeah, solo practice, no big deal if you are up to 70. Also keep in mind that in Spa you have to slow down for the turn, so it gets that as an indication that okay, you slowed down, you know. We are doing 1.8 G's, longitudinal G's, under braking. If you think these are bad brakes, then maybe you have to, you know, maybe you have to rethink about it. If you are used to 5 Gs from Formula 1, it's a different thing. But those brakes here actually brake, whoa, 2 times more than a normal street car. So think again. Right, so the car is already showing me bad things. It's not so easy to work with. Have to be very, very precise here. No problem, Sefe. That's what we do. I mean, again, guys, you know us now for almost 10 years. You should know by now that, you know, Kunos always tries to fix problems as fast as possible and improve the titles as long as possible. I mean, that's what we do. If you don't know that by now, after 10 years of following us, then I don't know what to say. I mean, that's how we work. That's Kunos. We stick with a title. We don't do titles every year, and we try to improve it as much as we can, or as much as the technology that we have chosen permits us. And then, you know, there are bugs always. We try to improve. We try to fix them, and we don't, you know, we are not trying to fix them by, you know, after a month or so, but next week, instantly, as fast as possible. Obviously, it's not like that, you know, we are going to tell our devs to work during weekend, right? So sometimes we do a mistake because we try to fix something and we might release it on Friday, but, you know, a different bug comes out and we are screwed for the weekend. Shit happens. What can I say? I'm sorry about that, but you should know by now that if something like that happens, it happens rarely, but when it happens, then next week it's already fixed, as it happened now. Oh, come on. Double shifted in third gear. All right, 42.6.
Well done, mate. This has been your personal best.
Not exactly, I will tell you why. So, Lloyd asks, shouldn't the McLaren stop faster because has better aero and such, has more downforce, so it should, you know, stop faster? Not exactly, that's not how it works. Because it doesn't have any power, you have to take advantage of the low drag to gain some extra top speed. And indeed, the car gains, it has some extra top speed, you know, from other cars, say from a Porsche, right? But the low drag means that it also stops longer because it has also less aerodynamic drag, while the Porsche has more drag, and so it doesn't only has the brakes, you know, to stop and the tires grip, but also the aerodynamic drag that stops the car from a high speed. The other thing that you have to keep in mind is that with some cars, you go deep into the turns and rotate it like with a Porsche. But with this car, you have to bring more speed into the turn. So you cannot, you can actually brake later, but you also have to be capable to bring that speed inside the turn. So if you see here, I'm braking later than the Bentley, which means that, you know, the car is capable of braking later, but I have to bring more speed inside the turn like that. But it's not an easy car to do this. So that's the problem. Yeah, Porsche has all the drag. Porsche has probably the highest drag of all the cars. Precision. Hey guys, last Friday I managed to do P9, and you said that after P9 there would have been no more requests for Nordschleife. I don't see that into the chat. So what is happening? You liars. All right, 41.9. 41.9. The car is capable. It is a little bit tricky in the turning, because I'll show you. If I'm not careful what I'm doing in the turning with the brakes and how I release the brake, then this happens. You see? You see how it rotates? Again, for the same reasons that we talked before about the Audi. Mid-engine car, it wants to rotate. But on the other hand, it's more understeery. So I need to find out if, you know, I can improve a little bit on the understeer. It gives me a little bit of, you know, I could use a little bit less understeer probably. So let's see. The pressures are so-so. Okay, so let's go to the pits. Whoops, again reading the chat, but okay, I was going into the pits anyway. So Kirill asks, a BOP, ballast. So the ballast in real life, they put it in a passenger place. It's the same in ACC. The ballast that you get automatically for each car going from circuit to circuit is already changed to be to the correct place. So the whole, you know, weight of the car goes to the correct place from circuit to circuit. So that's already in. The ballast that is added on top of the actual car weight from the server admin, because you can add ballast from the server, this is getting added into the center of gravity of the car so that we don't have strange things happening, you know. So that's how it works. All right, so this is okay here, as we said. Um, I would like some extra, a tiny bit of less understeer in mid corner and in exit. So let's go up by 2 here and hope for the best. To free practice, no, Damian, you cannot add AI to free practice. But why not doing race weekend? That's what I do usually. Race weekend is very nice, very immersive. James, I don't know about that. Probably not. I don't know. Okay, so let's try this. Phew, a fly. Come on. Yeah, server admin ballast is on the center of gravity. Okay, let's see if we can do a 41 mid with the car. Because Sebastian, the first thing we do, I'm always, following the steps. The first thing I do is after the pressures, is that I'm going to change the ride heights. That's the easiest thing to do, and you know that you're gonna have the exact results from whatever you do. After that, then I'm going for fine tuning, and fine tuning comes, from all the mechanical grip. And that we do that also because it's not always the case that you make the front end softer and the car actually reacts in what you think it's going to be a predictable way. You might think that making the front end softer, it will have less understeer, but at some occasions it might give you more understeer. I invite you to go and have a look at my earlier videos of the Too Long Didn't Watch, where I explain what is the operation window of a car and how some things that make part of the usual rule of thumb might not work anymore with modern high downforce cars like that. So go have a look on that video. Oops. I thought I went a little bit too fast into that turn, but tons of grip sometimes. Ah. Ooh. Boy, welcome. And Adriana also, welcome. Yeah, I'm still reading the chat, looking at stuff. Well, the car is not that bad. Doesn't want really to kill me. But it takes some effort to understand what you're doing. It seems one of those cars that if you're doing everything correctly, then you get out very good lap times. If you start doing small errors, your lap times getting very, very bad, very bad. So it asks for total precision. Ah, look at that. It's impossible to brake so late, except if you look at them from multiplayer. Multiplayer, you have to add also some lag from the multiplayer, from the server. So watch out when you're watching opponents in multiplayer servers, because they seem to brake later than they actually do. You know, so subtract like 2, 3, 4, 5 kilometers depending on the speed that they have and the ping they have. Well, yes, the McLaren doesn't have enough engine. Hello, Zasper. Oh, now I had the opposite problem. Oh, 360. No hands, no eyes, no teeth, nothing. Never let off the throttle. We die like heroes, Tortellini. Dorifto. Hello, Aurelio. Ah. Understeer, oversteer. Ah. Bad driving. I'm starting to be tired. Ah, what did I told you before? I'm so tired, guys. Oh, I can't drive this car now. It's I'm so tired. Let's do a Honda lap. Ah, come on, seriously. Ah. Yeah, you could do it, but it's a little bit harder to set up a car with just bump stop, because the bump stop are not linear. So it's not so easy. But you could do it. I mean, theoretically, why not? Besides, again, as I said, it's not like that the springs go down to zero. All the range that you have into Assetto Corsa Competizione is the range that, you know, the real teams use, and they know that it works. So as far as I know, it's the GT4 European Series. So let's go a little bit backwards with the brake bias and see if I can improve my turn in. What are my thoughts about Daniel ABT's drama? Well, I'll tell you what. when you are a professional driver, okay, you get paid to represent a manufacturer and the sponsors, right? And you decide to take part into a race, into a virtual race. Okay, so yeah, it's a virtual race, it's a game, but it's still a virtual official race. It's not like, you are into a server doing stupid things with your friends. You are into a race where thousands of euros, or in some cases a million, okay, is spent in sponsoring, in organization, uh, and you are representing your manufacturer and your sponsors, which they pay a lot of money for you to race. Okay, so when happens and you practically cheat, okay, there's no excuse of, oh, come on, I was doing a joke. No, it's not a joke. If you were into a private server or into a public normal server, then yes, that's a joke. But into an official sponsored event that the manufacturer has decided to participate properly, then that's not a joke anymore. And one of the things that many, unfortunately, not all, of course, but some professional drivers do not understand is that when you do this, it's no longer a game. Okay, it's a proper competition, and you have to act as a professional. If you don't feel like it, then don't go. Simple as that. Don't participate. Okay, but if you go in seriously, it means that this is your job now. Okay, so yeah, I'm not good anymore. So I'm sorry for those guys that they are actually, losing their jobs and stuff like that. But let's be honest. I mean, in the middle of the lockdown, where so many people are having, issues with their jobs, they cannot work. Those guys get an opportunity to keep on working on what they do every day, and I think they should be more serious about it. It's not just a game. It's a game if you go into a public server or into a lobby or into your friend's server and have some fun. Yes, that's a game. But when there is an official event happening, usually also for charity, and you act like this, then you are not getting it. You're not getting it. And obviously, uh, the manufacturer and the sponsor receive a damage from their actions. So that's that's how it is. It's unfortunate, but come on, all it. I mean, who cares? You can also arrive last, but just be serious about it. And I will not just talk about that, but I will also talk about their um, how they act during the race. I mean, we saw into pretty much all uh, simulators and official events, they just bump into each other. Sometimes not. Sometimes some of those things are, proper racing, and in proper racing, some bumping happens. But there are also some other times that they just bump into each other. Who cares, and just ram the other guy and pass through. Come on. I mean, you're supposed to be the best of the best in the world. So I don't agree. Um, the purpose is entertainment, but that doesn't mean that your job is not serious. If your job is entertainment, I mean, uh, if you ask a comedian, his purpose is entertainment, but he cannot afford, because it's just entertainment, to go on the screen and offend badly people or sponsors or say bad things to whoever. He cannot afford it because he will lose his job even if it's just entertainment. So all right, so my mind is a little bit obfuscated right now. What do you think, guys? Let's see. would you prefer to do the McLaren properly on Friday? So we do some practice with the Aston, but before doing some practice with the Aston, we do some practice with the McLaren because obviously I cannot make the car go to 41.5. It's 1 o'clock in the night. Tomorrow we have to work. And obviously I cannot say that, oh, it's just a game, so I'm not working, so I have to work. So I would say if you guys agree, I would call it a night for today. And yeah, have listen a little bit to you on the chat, and then just call it a night because it is getting late. And after 3 cars that we're working here, the McLaren is a little bit too much for me right now. Well, the next race is not this Friday, but the next Friday, so next week. Not this week, next week. So we have still, Friday to practice with the Aston and do some laps with the McLaren. And then we have the race. Yeah. Yeah, let's do a little bit on Friday. And then, we can start a half an hour or something with the McLaren here at Kyalami, and then jump into the Aston for, I think, Silverstone, and do some practice at Silverstone. So, guys, let me know on the chat. I hope you like this new kind of format. I hope it's useful for you. Thank you so much for the 10,000 subscribers. Congrats also to the subreddit channel with 10,000 subscribers also. And yeah, let's see what the chat says. Nice, well done, Ervol. If I could drive only one car for the rest of time in ACC, I don't know. That's a question that every time I change my mind, I don't really know. It's so hard to decide. I mean, every time you go from one to another, it's so many differences. It's so nice. So yeah. So once more, again, you can find the setups and the replays here. So Aris.Drives Drives the setups and stuff here, and you will find also the link at the description of each video, of each new video from now on. Nice. Look at that, the McLaren 360. You saw how it was. Let's see that again. That's so majestic and poetic at the same time. I mean, car gets unbalanced, mid-engine, it wants to rotate, and it rotates. 1, 2, 360. This is how those cars do. That's why it's more difficult to drive them properly. But because of their agility, they are also usually faster. Right. I have no idea, Jim. Sorry, no idea. Lloyd, it just happened. We didn't specific. I mean, I never choose any car for the legal races. Usually, my co-drivers choose the car. I'm usually, okay, let's do it. Whatever you guys decide. And because everybody else, takes the usual Audi, Porsche, McLaren, Ferrari, we started, trying to convince people to use more front-engine cars. Nowadays, I think pretty much everybody uses whatever they like. So maybe, yes, we can also use some mid-engine cars in the future. Victor. A coffee cup with Kunos ACC. You mean with us in person, or you need a mug? I didn't understand. We don't have merchandise, unfortunately. This is something I always say to my colleagues, but still haven't got to the point to do it. Yes, Friday we will do some extra, work on the 720, and then obviously, I mean, every time I do some car on some track and doing extra setups, I will now put them there on the G Drive. If I don't remind me so to do it, I will just forget it. But the main thing here is that we work, we do some basic setups, we put them over there so that you can try them. Again, remember those are not really high-end setups. Uh, as usual, I'm trying to improve my driving first. When my driving is good enough, then I'm trying to work on the setup better. And I think that's what you should do also. I'm not telling you again because some people might have understood that, okay, don't do anything on the setup, just drive. Uh, yes, try to drive to improve yourself. The driving technique is, the best improvement you can do. Once you are in a good position, then start working on the setup or ask setup from somebody else. But first, you have to be in a position to be able to drive the setup. No, Philip, we don't have something like that. But uh, when the SRO races were happening last year, we were going to all the races. Usually the ticket is very low, like 10 or 20 euros, except on Spa, which is 24 hours. But usually the ticket is very low, and we were pretty much to every race. And if we go again in the future, then by all means come and visit us, guys. We are always there for you to to chat, to get a coffee, to get to drink a beer or something. So do it, come and find us during the SRL races, hopefully next year. T-shirts. Yeah, I have to see that. They say that after you go over 10,000 euros, yeah, 10,000 subscribers, you can start, merchandising on YouTube, on your YouTube channel. So I will have to research this and see if I'm enabled now. Drink water. Yes, indeed. Today I haven't drank any water at all. All right, guys. It's almost 1 o'clock. I've been streaming since 10 p.m. So that's 3 hours again. Yeah, yeah. The tickets for the GT3 races are extremely cheap, and usually included is completely free paddock entry. So you don't only have to watch the race from whatever tribune you like. It's free to go everywhere, but you also get to go into the paddock and look at the cars and see the drivers walking around. It's really really cool. I mean, you really have to go and visit at least one of the SRO races. It's really good stuff. Thank you, Yakovlev, for joining. All right, guys. That's it. That's it. So, thank you so much. Thank you so much for everything. And what can I say? See you on Friday, right? So Friday, 10 o'clock as usual, in the evening, Central European summertime. And I'm gonna do some practice lap, and we're gonna try the McLaren again. Okay.